Hello everyone, I wanted to make a video sharing some of the progress I've made. I'm working towards a larger demo, probably about 5 or so battles with some exploration segments as well, showing where I hope to take the game. So, if it interests you, I encourage you to check out the links in the description. I've mentioned previously the idea of giving cameos to others' characters in the game, letting them be potential characters you recruit when you optionally recruit generics. If you're interested in a character cameo, being part of the game's community will certainly help with that opportunity. That's something I'll be diving into more once the larger demo is out, so one has a better idea of the world that Shieldlinked takes place in. Now I'd like to share some particularly noteworthy things I've done. First of all, I've made a big departure when it comes to how turns are handled. Instead of a player phase and enemy phase system like Fire Emblem, I've taken on a system where the player and computer alternate activating characters, though if one faction has multiple amounts more than the other, then that faction would get multiple activations in a row. You can see on the screen the little shield icons in a row showing the activation order. Every turn consists of every character on the field getting one activation, but you get to choose the order in which you move your troops. I did borrow this from another game. If you think you know which one, please comment it. I found this system really satisfying. There are things to appreciate about different turn systems in SRPGs, and I like most of them. I like the full control you get with a player and enemy phase like in Fire Emblem, but the downside is that sometimes it's easy to wipe out the opposition and prevent retaliation, which is fun, but there's less back and forth. While other SRPGs have an initiative order based on the speed stat, which has this back and forth, however, you might feel like you have less control when it comes to carrying out a plan, as circumstances change too much by the time your slower character acts. This system that I'm using is hopefully a good compromise. You get lots of control while still having lots of engagement between you and the computer. Another change that was made to work with this back and forth flow of combat was to make adjustments to follow-up attacks and counter-attacks. If a character is fast enough, they can make multiple attacks on the enemy. However, the attacks that hit after the first will have their damage halved. If the first attack missed, then the second will still get its full damage, but overall it makes it more difficult to one-round an enemy. This means that the link system's benefits are more useful. The same damage penalty occurs when a character gets their counterattack on an enemy. This makes simply sending a character out to Juggernaut less viable. There are skills and weapons that help you get around these penalties, but this is the general case. This back and forth system also required me to add more scripting. I've added a function for calculating the priority of each character, so when the enemy AI is choosing who to move next, they may choose to move someone first who has a higher chance of scoring a deadly blow. On the topic of scripting, I've been taking advantage of my scripting system to make weapons that have more interesting effects. It's really easy to do so, and it adds a lot of variety to what you and the enemy can do. It also adds a lot more incentive to capture enemies, so you can get their interesting weapons. Additionally, I've made it so I can script events on the map to play out, like visiting a house or finding a secret. While it would have been easy to make such scenes purely dialogue boxes, I added a system for bringing up little side view scenes like this so I can add a little more immersion. This can also be used for scenes that occur during the battle. I think it's fun to do plenty of storytelling during the battle itself, making it evolve and increase the stakes. I've also been working on the side view exploration segments, my goal being to make them more aesthetically pleasing and interactive. Along with this is a quest system, helping to bring more optional objectives to the battles, or helping flesh out certain characters. Quests may be specific, like finding a certain item, but they can also be scripted to track specific actions, like defeating enemies of a certain type, for example. That's that for now. Please do check out the links in the description and have a great day. Thanks for watching.